hey, welcome to Rinse. I was like,
Love that.
what a better person than Diana Chan, boss lady. You're probably most famous for MasterChef.
Yes.
Can you tell us a bit about that journey?
Yeah, so MasterChef for me was, a whirlwind. Obviously changed my life completely. Started off my career in accounting and then sort of went into cooking full time. It's a massive change.
But it's been a big part of your life, growing up cooking, obviously.
Yeah, totally. So everything revolved around the dinner table. So mum would be cooking in the kitchen, and whilst I didn't actually cook when I was a kid, I would always prep the food. So she'd be like, hey, here's a half a kilo bag of onions, go peel.
Yeah, like you're involved in the process.
You'd be sitting there crying, peeling onions, like
what am I doing
child
wrong?
labor. But that's kind of how you learn.
Yeah.
It's like the foundation. Ooh, that's good.
That's good.
So good.
I'm using Hydrate.
Hydrate, okay. Yep. So what does this one do?
This is a moisture-rich shampoo and conditioner. Basically softens and hydrates the hair.
Okay, so good for my hair because it's slightly dry at the ends. Is that
You have amazing hair. Lots of it.
I have so much hair.
Such beautiful length. So you were involved in the process.
Yeah, so involved in the process. And so moved to Australia in 2006, and I think it came on in 2009, the first series, and I watched it up until season 8, and I religiously, every episode for 8 years I was watching it, and I knew the whole process. Like I knew what it entailed, what the show was about, and I always thought it was like so fun. Naturally I had an interest in it because it was food related. So all my friends egged me on to do it because I would always cook for them. I would have dinner parties whilst my parents weren't here. I always had friends and some other family members come over for dinner.
Yeah.
So I was very used to cooking for people, and everyone enjoys food. And I love that feeling of putting food on the table and you see people's faces and the smiles and like how much it reminds them either of home or family or just coming together.
It's love, really,
exactly.
Isn't it?
It's
sharing that love and
that was when I decided to put in the application, and next minute I get a call and I was like, oh shit, what do I do now? Because I was not prepared for it. And then next minute I'm on the show. It was a surreal experience. 7 months of filming all up.
7 months.
The thing is, you're 7 months and you have no mobile phones. It's an alcohol-free house.
Right.
You have no access to the internet, so you don't see you live in a house separately with all the other contestants, so you don't have access to seeing your family or friends. Only on occasions.
Yeah.
So you naturally, and I think it was such a good way of doing it.
Yeah, you're immersed in that environment.
Exactly, it's the environment you're in, and that was what MasterChef was. It was 7 months for me of doing nothing but cooking. I remember Trump was elected as president. I didn't even know that because I was so out of tune with what was happening around the world.
You're in your own world.
You're in a bubble.
Yeah.
You're in a food bubble. Going in, and I was like, okay, I could either be in here for shortest amount of time, 2 weeks, or I could go the whole way, and I had no idea where I was going to end up. I was just went in there with a very open mind.
You didn't have expectations.
All I just didn't want to come up first, and I didn't. I thought to myself, if I can make it halfway, that kind of, I'm happy with that at that point in time. But then you get competitive.
Yeah.
I think I had that competitive.
Well, I think you're a very you're strong-minded. You've got a lot of passion in you.
It came down to it was all in the head at the end. Everyone at that point of the competition can cook and are able to produce some amazing dishes, but it came down to you gotta want it enough to go all the way, right? So
do you think things in your childhood happened, or you were brought up in a way that instilled that kind of drive and confidence and passion in you?
I think so, definitely. I think my mum, all the women in my family have been really strong. So grandma lost her husband at a very young age. She raised 5 kids. She was a nurse. And so she was a very strong, resilient woman. Mum was always a working mum. 3 kids, raised them together with dad. But, I think when I look at my parents, I think they're very equal. They both play a very equal part. I think it's important, growing up, you have those sort of the can and the can't do's. And I think that definitely helped. Sort of consistency and also discipline. So going into a competition or doing something for X amount of time, say 3 months and above. If you do anything for 6 weeks, that's when it becomes a habit. So you got to make it a habit, right? So I think that was what if you do it long enough, and if you have the discipline in the first place to do it, there's, you know, you're halfway there.
Yeah,
you
100%.
will exceed and you will succeed. Yeah.
What do you think one of the biggest challenges has been for you as a female in this, you know, world and business and in the industry as well?
I think for me, like the industry that I work in, like food predominantly, it has changed tremendously over the last 10 years. There's way more recognition for women as talent, as chefs. I have in the past experienced, I wouldn't say like racial abuse, but I guess more like pigeonholed into, you know, the stereotype like as an Asian cook. When in hindsight, like I can technically cook anything else, right? Like, but you do sometimes get stereotyped that way, and I am aware of that, and I do what I can within my power to change that.
What do you think people misunderstand about you?
I don't think it's a misunderstanding. I think sometimes it's just ignorance, and I don't blame people for, you know, classifying me as the Asian female chef. Like it's so much of a pigeonhole. Like why can't it just be a chef, right? You know, you tend to get you know, associating like cooking meat on a barbecue with being a male-dominated thing. That's an easy example. Like why cooking with fire and outdoors and all that sort of stuff has to be associated with a male. So then, you know, it's trying to change that perception that no, like
advice that you give to other females in business or
understanding your worth.
I love that.
You know, you got to, obviously this comes from like self-confidence and takes years and years to build. And there's nothing worse than being a female in the industry and being undervalued, I think.
And like,
in any industry.
And because that's going to happen. It happens so often.
It is.
So
there's
to understand that within yourself first. And then when you're in those situations where you are undervalued, knowing who you are.
You can walk away. You can walk away. You have a choice. You know, we live in this world where it's so much more equal.
I love that.
And you can definitely, you have a choice that you can make, and I think that would be my biggest.
It's not straightforward either. You know, I know it's taken me a long time to get to this point where, you know, I think I'm good enough, or you know, I love myself, but there's always going to be times where, you know, I doubt that or second guess it, and then just bringing it back to, you know, your center and just trusting who you are, and your roots and what got you here.
Totally. And what I find like throughout like the career, like over the last 5 years, obviously changing from one career to another, like my corporate life really helped in where I'm at today, because it helped me understand a different side of business that I probably would have never had had I just been in food my whole life. It's like being an artist, right? Like most artists think with a different side of their brain, and you know, they're more creative, they're more free-spirited, open, but they probably don't think about the crux and the structure of things. So I think understanding that there are many different parts to running a business, whatever your business might be, whether it's yourself, whether it's you're actually running a, you know, brick and mortar business, I think it's important to understand the structure.
Yeah, I love that. It's amazing how life happens like that, you know, that you went through that experience first. Which is probably, you know, laid that groundwork and foundation for you to be where you are now and be doing all the things that you're doing. Like
6 years ago, I was like, oh my God, I'm going from like a month to month paycheck. I know exactly what I'm getting. I know exactly, you know, how much this and that. I don't have to, I know exactly what I'm paying, you know, what goes in and out of my bank, to like, I don't know when my next paycheck is.
Which so is just kind of, when you've been used to something for so long.
It's scary. Change is scary. Being able to want to change is a big thing. You got to want it enough.
One of my favorite products, it's our hair treatment mask. And because you were saying you felt like your hair was a bit dry on the end. Just 3 minutes, like now will be good, will be really helpful for the end. Yes, hair questions.
Yes, go for it.
How often do you wash your hair?
Oh, you're gonna kill me. Every day.
Every day? Yes, I love that. You know what? Like, I love the diversity of when I ask people this question. You know, like, I wash my hair, you're gonna die once a fortnight. But that's because, you know, I have curly hair, I wear it up.
This is exactly what we're saying, right? Like, we have different views on, like, work and stuff, but we are different people.
Exactly.
We're genetically not the same,
different
right?
Humans. So different things are going to work for us.
You know what? It looks great. So, like, I wish I could wash my hair once every 2. I'm trying to like do it every second day. So every now and again I do that. The max I've left it is like 2 days, and it just like, I want to pull my hair out.
Yeah. Do you wear your hair out much? Your hair? Yeah. So that's probably part of it as well, because it's out so often. And that's how you like it, you know?
Yeah.
So.
And I tell you why, because I got a lot of hair.
Yeah.
It's actually painful when I wear my hair out.
Yeah,
it's heavy.
Yeah.
It's mainly why I have it down.
When you're having a good hair day,
what
does that feel like? What is that for you?
Oh my god. I love, and I always say this, like,
because like
it makes you feel $1 million. Probably more now.
Yeah. $1 billion.
$1 billion. My hair is one of my biggest assets. I think.
I would agree. I was just about to jump in and say you
always
because I have a good hair.
I just have so much hair, so I just like this. It's so versatile, and I have, thank God, I have good hair.
Yeah.
Like it is one of the most obedient hairs. Like I can curl it, and you don't even have to put spray in it. So I actually use very little products.
Yeah, right.
When you get your hair done, I think it you know, I feel confident, and I feel good. Like I feel like it's because it's a part of me. It's almost like a part of your outfit.
Yeah, definitely. What's your identity?
Definitely.
It's like when you have a bad haircut, how much that actually
Oh my
affects
God.
you. You know, it's like, you know, and I remember like after breakups, I'd go like, you know,
you go short,
all this stuff, and then I'm like, look back and I was like, what was I doing at the time?
It's always such a statement.
Yeah.
It's like, I've broken up, I'm cutting it off.
Yeah, because it is. I think it really, and not just for females, I think males and females.
Absolutely.
It's such a big part of who you are. I asked Christina and Jay this, and probably not something I think that we get asked that often, but I think it's something that's really important is, you know, what you love about yourself.
I have a lot of care. I think that's what I get told a lot. I'm a very caring and giving person. I'm very generous, so I always involve people, and I always, and it shows because people say that about me, and I know that I am very generous, and I would never want to change that. Like, I always want to be there for people as much as I can.
Do you think that with the females in your life like that, or?
I think I definitely think it stems from like my mom and my grandmother. Like, we're all very, very giving people. Like, that's one of my qualities. The other quality, which is not such a good quality, like, it could be taken both ways, right? Is that I'm a bit of a perfectionist, and I need things done like a certain way. Yeah. And that's because like I just have in my head this standard of how I want things done. I'm like so particular about things like that. Yeah. But then I think that it's also a good trait to have in work. Yeah, because I do things quite structurally. That's just the way I am. Yeah. And it's a good and bad thing, because sometimes it pisses people off. That, you know, especially my close ones, because I'm like, I need things done this way. It's taken me a while to be like, okay, this is me, this is who I am. And I think you get that when you're a bit older, and you just kind of realize like, this is who I am.
100%. Okay, this is the last part. It's a word association. Okay. So I'm just going to say a whole bunch of words.
Oh my god, I'm terrible.
And I just want you to say whatever comes to your mind. Like, just don't hold back, and we'll bang through it. Okay, people.
Friends.
Hair.
Confidence.
Washing.
Clean.
Shampoo.
Ooh. Fresh.
Conditioner.
Lustrous.
Haircare.
Haircare. Self-care. Australia. Home.
Self-confidence.
Everything.
Self-expression.
Personality.
And love.
Family.
Yay! We're done! Yay! Thank you.